Preseason and camp is full of sunshine for almost every player, but we've found 3 or 4 guys where the stock is definitely down based on preseason performance or preseason injuries. We have to start in Washington with Robert Griffin III. The situation looked great coming into camp, right? He's tied to Jay Gruden. This is a guy who delivered a top 6 quarterback season for Andy Dalton, so surely he could do it for RG3. The receiving situation is great with Deshaun Jackson. You like everything about the setup, except that Griffin has looked terrible. A couple of interceptions in the preseason, some awful decisions. He's taking big, unnecessary hits in exhibition play. This is a lot like the Griffin that we saw last year, not like the Griffin that we saw as a rookie when he was a record-setting fantasy asset. So I am a little bit concerned. Now, I do believe in the player, I believe in the system, I believe in the receiving core. I think he comes back. I think he's a fringe QB1, but he's no longer a guy that I'm willing to reach for in drafts. Then we have to talk about another quarterback who, through no real fault of his own, he's just been injured and his stock is down, and that is Cam Newton in Carolina. We know the receiving core has turned over. It's not like it was great last year. The big worry for Cam right now is a hairline fracture to a rib. This is a painful injury. I'm sure they can treat the pain in Carolina. I'm confident that he'll be around in the early weeks of the season. What you worry about is whether he'll still see goal line carries, because that is the key to Cam Newton's fantasy value. You look at the last 2 seasons, he has 13 rushing touchdowns from within the 10-yard line. You draft this guy because he is the goal line back for his team. And if they don't use him in that capacity early in the year, it's going to be very difficult for him to have a top 5 fantasy finish. So now I think you have to view Cam as somebody that you platoon with another quarterback. Maybe it's Roethlisberger or Cutler or Rivers, one of those guys in the 10 to 15 range. But Cam is no longer a clear, no doubt, every week starter. 2 other guys where the stock has gone down in the preseason. We start in Denver with Wes Welker. This is really unfortunate. He suffered his 3rd concussion since November in preseason week 3. That's a bad history. You don't want that associated with any player. Obviously, Welker's a great talent. He's still a guy that you're probably going to take. Maybe it's round 7 now. Maybe it's round 8. You can no longer feel confident in him as a round 5, round 6 receiver, I think. The setup is still good, but you have to imagine that Denver just wants to get Welker to the postseason. I'm not sure that he'll be available in week 1. There's plenty of other talent there, too. Emmanuel Sanders has looked great. Andre Caldwell can fill in. There's a rookie in Cody Latimer who looks good. Jacob Tamme is there. They don't necessarily need Welker on the field in the opener. This is a concern. And then one last guy we have to talk about is Stephen Ridley in New England. There have actually been reports out of New England that he might be on the roster bubble. That is crazy, but ball security issues have continued to plague Ridley. And this is not a talent like Adrian Peterson. This is not somebody like Tiki Barber where we have to fix him. They don't have to fix Stephen Ridley. He's maybe not that good. If Stephen Ridley can't hold on to the football, he might seriously be in jeopardy here, might not have a job in New England. They have an exciting rookie in James White, a kid out of Wisconsin who was sensational last season. They have Brandon Bolden, a veteran. They have Shane Vereen. So they've got plenty of running backs to fill the load.
Yahoo!